Breaking news, Manchester City are advancing to sign Antoine Semenyo and they are the clear favorites as the player has indicated Man City as his favorite destination for this transfer. A big evolution in the last 12 hours as Chelsea left the race, Tottenham were already out, Man United tried till the end, Liverpool with some calls in the recent weeks but then never sending any official bid, Manchester City pushing like crazy in the last 12 hours as I told you in my channels, and now Antoine Semenyo has indicated to his agents, to Bournemouth and to Manchester City with a direct contact that he wants to join the Citizens. Now it's on City to close the deal as soon as possible. They want to accelerate, they want to carry it done in the next days with Bournemouth. £65 million release clause. We will see what City decide to do, whether to pay the clause or reach an agreement with Bournemouth on a payment schedule, but Semenyo has made his decision. He wants to go to Man City and now they are clear favorites to get the here we go very soon. Real Madrid confirmed their trust in Xabi Alonso despite the defeat against Manchester City and only 2 wins in the last 8 games. Real Madrid maintained their support and confidence in the Spanish manager. Of course, results must change as soon as possible. Of course, the next games will be important, starting from Alaves over the weekend, but Real Madrid are not going to fire Xabi Alonso immediately, despite the reports in Spain over the last few days saying that if Xabi Alonso had lost the game against Manchester City, he was going to be fired. That's not the case. Real Madrid maintain patience, Real Madrid maintain trust in the manager. Also beautiful to see all the players speaking in public after the game, from Jude Bellingham to Rodrigo, but also Raúl Asensio, Thibaut Courtois, all mentioning their trust in Xabi Alonso, their support for Xabi Alonso. Real Madrid also taking this as part of the count when they discuss the manager position, and so the dressing room is with Xabi. The club is still confirming him. The results must change, but Real Madrid at the moment are still not changing their manager. Keep an eye on Enzo Maresca's situation in the next hours and days, because after only 1 win in the last 7 Premier League games, the Chelsea manager is under discussion at the club. The situation is getting tense, doubts are intensifying, and so watch out for the Maresca situation at Chelsea. We know the comments of the manager in the recent weeks, not happy with some situations at the club, and then he didn't do his post-match interview after the draw against Bournemouth at Stamford Bridge. So quite a tense situation between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea on both sides, on manager side, on club side. There are doubts about the situation. Don't forget also the links in the recent weeks between Enzo Maresca and Manchester City for the future. Of course, now Pep Guardiola is untouchable and is yet to decide his future, but internally Manchester City, for the future of the club, Maresca is appreciated. But now the present is at Chelsea and the situation is getting really, really tense between Chelsea and Enzo Maresca. Antoine Semenyo to Manchester City, the here we go is coming soon. Positive contacts today between Manchester City and Bournemouth to agree on the transfer fee. Is going to be the value of the release clause, £65 million for Antoine Semenyo to join Manchester City from Bournemouth. Despite many talks in the recent days about a potential hijack for the winger wanted by several clubs, Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, the decision of the player was clear on Christmas Eve. As I told you, he decided to go to Manchester City. Financial agreement also done with Manchester City. And now progress underway between City and Bournemouth on the terms of the payments structure for Antoine Semenyo. So Semenyo is fully expected to join Manchester City in the January transfer window to be the first signing 2026 for Pep Guardiola, who was a crucial point of this conversation. Semenyo loves the idea to work under Pep Guardiola, to improve under Pep Guardiola, to compete for titles this season, in the future, and so Semenyo to Manchester City is very close at final stages with the here we go expected soon. Breaking bad news for Barcelona, Andreas Christensen, the Danish defender, has suffered an ACL injury, partial ACL injury, no surgery, conservative treatment for the centre-back, but for Barcelona means Christensen to be sidelined for several months. And so Barca will now consider the possibility to sign a new centre-back in the January transfer window with the Araujo situation to understand how he will be back after this disconnection moment. We know he's been in Jerusalem in the past few days to try find himself again after struggling in the recent weeks, and now Christensen out for an injury for several months. So bad news for Barcelona, and the club expected to assess options in the January transfer window to understand what they can do, what they want to do. A centre-back was already a priority target for Barcelona for the summer transfer window. Barca started meetings and discussions to get a new centre-back in the summer. Let's see if in January they can find the right solution for the coach, Hansi Flick. João Cancelo will leave Al Hilal in the January transfer window. The decision is already made by the player, his agent Jorge Mendes, and people close to the Portuguese right back who is ready to return to European football. This is the decision of João Cancelo after contacts had also with Al Hilal. Al Hilal prioritized different positions for January, and so to let Cancelo leave the club could be a good idea in terms of list of the players, registration of the players, and this is why Al Hilal are working on the exit of João Cancelo. Could be a loan deal, with several clubs already calling Jorge Mendes for a potential January move. Inter from Serie A are interested in Cancelo. They made contact with the agent of the player, Jorge Mendes. Juventus called to inquire about the situation, but at the moment still not proceeding. Barcelona could be interested, but limited by the financial fair play situation, and so at the moment not advancing. So let's see what happens with Cancelo, but could be one of the names to watch in the January transfer window, because the Portuguese right back looking ahead for the World Cup wants to leave Al Hilal. Ronald Araujo is back in team training today with the Barcelona squad after the break he took from training with the squad. We know what happened following the red card against Chelsea in Champions League. A break for Ronald Araujo for a personal opportunity to find himself again. Also, mental health is a really important topic in football, and so Ronald Araujo, supported and approved by Barcelona, decided to take a break. He went to Jerusalem. He spent his time with his family. He wanted also a spiritual connection in order to be back in the best shape possible, and today Araujo is back in training. He will be part of the open training session under Hansi Flick with his teammates. Araujo wanted to be there also to say hi to Barcelona fans and to say thanks to Barcelona fans for the support. Then obviously it will take some time before we see him back in the best shape possible, but mentally Araujo is back and also back in training session with his teammates, and so good luck to Ronny Araujo. Endrick to Olympique Lyon. The here we go is coming very soon. The agreement is imminent between Olympique Lyon and Real Madrid. The negotiation is already at very advanced stages. It was an exclusive story at the end of October, and now 2 months later the agreement is imminent. Agreement already done with the player. Endrick wants to go to Olympique Lyon. Endrick, from my understanding, already spoke to the manager Paulo Fonseca about this opportunity. So Endrick wants to go to France, wants to go to Olympique Lyon, and maybe have the opportunity to be at the World Cup 2026 if he can play on regular basis. Now it's on the two clubs, but the agreement also on this loan deal is really close. It's just about some final details. Any moment could be a here we go. Then there is the topic of the buy option clause or buy obligation, but this will not happen. It's going to be a straight loan for Endrick to Olympique Lyon. No buy option, no buy obligation. Endrick will return to Real Madrid in summer transfer window 2026. 6 months to be spent at Olympique Lyon with the opportunity to play on regular basis. And so, the here we go is coming soon. Breaking news, it's over between Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid. The club has decided by mutual agreement with Xabi Alonso to interrupt the relationship, and so Xabi is no longer Real Madrid head coach following the defeat in the Super Cup final against Barcelona in El Clásico. It's over between Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso. A shocking breaking news for Real Madrid. The relationship has been difficult over the last few months between Xabi Alonso, some of the players. The situation has been very tense in the recent months, but then the Super Cup, the final El Clásico against Barcelona, was considered a crucial moment. Real Madrid lost that game against Barcelona, and the club decides today to interrupt the relationship with Xabi Alonso. It's over between Real Madrid and Xabi. The club will now proceed with a new manager to be appointed soon. Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid, game over after El Clásico and the defeat against Barcelona. Liam Rosignol as new Chelsea manager. Here we go. Deal agreed for the coach to become the replacement for Enzo Maresca, and so new permanent manager for Chelsea Football Club is going to be Liam Rosignol, former player from Brighton, ready for a new chapter after doing a very good job at Strasbourg, owned by the same group as Chelsea, Blue Co Group. He brought European football last season, doing well also this season with very clear ideas. He's always been the favorite, the leading candidate in Chelsea's shortlist to pick the new manager. And so after the decision between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea to part company with immediate effect after the Bournemouth game, new manager is coming at Stamford Bridge, and it's going to be Liam Rosignol. The contract has been agreed. Now Blue Co Group, the ownership group, is taking care of the replacement at Strasbourg for Liam Rosignol. Obviously they want to keep going with both projects, Chelsea and Strasbourg, but the new coach at Stamford Bridge will be Liam Rosignol. Here we go.